Hi guys, I'm Dagmara, the CEO of the Digital Bunch, and today I want to talk about something we've all probably thought of at some point. This idea that truly creative people work alone in some dimly lit room waiting for inspiration to strike. You know that image, the solitary genius having that magical aha moment? Well, today I'm here to tell you why that's not just wrong, but why letting go of this myth could actually make us all more creative. Let's dive right in. So before we go deeper, let me explain what I mean by the myth of the lone genius. It's this persistent belief that groundbreaking ideas come from brilliant individuals working in isolation. Think about how well we tell stories about innovation. We talk about Einstein developing the theory of relativity alone in his office, or Mozart composing symphonies in solitude. And we love these stories because they're simple and so romantic. One person, one brilliant mind, changing the world. But here's the thing. It's not just oversimplified, it's fundamentally incorrect. Einstein corresponded with countless other physicists and mathematicians. Mozart was deeply influenced by other composers and musicians of his time. And the lone genius myth often just holds us back from understanding how innovation really works. Let's start with Steve Jobs. We often picture him as the singular visionary who changed technology forever. But here's the thing, Apple wasn't built by Jobs alone in his garage. It was built by Jobs working with Steve Wozniak, who was a technical genius in his own right, and later with people like Johnny Ive, who revolutionized product design. The magic wasn't just in Jobs' vision, it was in how he brought together different minds to create something bigger than any one person could imagine. And you might be thinking, okay, but what about inventors? Surely Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone by himself? Well, actually no. Bell worked closely with his assistant, Thomas Watson, spending countless hours together experimenting and refining their ideas. The telephone wasn't born in a flash of solitary brilliance. It was built through partnership, through trial and error, through two, perhaps more minds working together. This matters because believing in the lone genius myth can actually stop us from creating. I've seen it happen. People put enormous pressure on themselves to come up with brilliant ideas all on their own. They isolate themselves thinking that's what creativity requires. But here's what actually happens when we do that. We cut ourselves off from the very thing that could spark our best ideas, other people's perspectives. So now let me share something fascinating that I found out. Google did this research project called Project Aristotle, where they studied what makes teams successful. And you know what they found out? The single biggest factor wasn't individual genius or talent, it was something they called psychological safety. And basically this means creating an environment where people feel safe to share ideas, even the crazy ones, without fear or judgment. And when teams had this, that's when innovation flourished. Think about Pixar. Early on, they were all about individual talent. But their real success, it came when they created a culture where everyone, and I mean everyone, from the directors to the janitors, could contribute ideas. Some of their best story elements came from the most unexpected places. Here's another example that might surprise you. Remember the Share a Coke campaign? The one where they put the names on bottles? That wasn't one marketing genius's brilliant idea. It started in Australia with a diverse team bringing different perspectives to the table. They took a simple concept, personalization, and turned it into a global phenomenon because they had different voices in the room. So what does this mean for you in practice? First, if you're working on something creative, stop thinking you need to figure it out all by yourself. Instead, focus on building your creative network. Find people who think differently from you. Create places and spaces where ideas can bounce around and evolve. And if you're leading a team, here's what you can do. Create an environment where every voice matters, however cheesy this sounds. At the Digital Bunch, we have this rule in brainstorming sessions that there's no such thing as a bad idea. Why? Because sometimes the wildest suggestions lead to breakthrough innovations. The idea you consider bad might not be the final idea as such, but it might trigger another thought in someone else's head that really hits the nail on the head. So here's what I want you to take away today. True creativity isn't about being a lone genius. It's about being brave enough to share your ideas, humble enough to accept input from others, and wise enough to know that the best innovations come from collaboration. And so the next time you see someone being celebrated as a lone creative genius, look closer. I guarantee you'll find a network of people who helped shape those ideas, who challenged assumptions, and who contributed their own perspectives. Because here's the truth, we're not meant to create alone. Our best ideas come alive when they collide with other perspectives, when they're shaped by different experiences, when they're challenged and refined by other minds. So let's let go of this myth of the lone genius. Instead, let's embrace this messy, collaborative, incredibly rich process of creating together. Because when we do that, we don't just make things better, we build stronger communities, we learn from each other, and we push the boundaries of what's really possible. Thanks a lot for watching today, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell for more future content. Until next time, keep creating, and most importantly, keep collaborating.